What is up, everybody? Welcome to the SkillWarz patch notes for version 0.58. I'm your host, impossybull, and we're going to cover all the changes in the newest patch. Now, if you have a keen eye, you may be able to notice the first change right now. If you want to look, I'm going to right now just mention that double XP is still active, almost for 2 more weeks. It's until the 15th, and right now it's only the 3rd. So, if you want to get some XP, just a reminder that double XP is active right now. So, the first change I'm going to talk about is that the default server is now US Washington. Now, this is not planned to be a permanent change, but it is in this update. Obviously, if you live in North America, or probably also South America, you'll get better ping. Europe, you'll get worse ping. Asia, Australia, I don't really know. Just try it out and see how it feels. But it's nice for me because I live in the southern US, so I have a pretty good connection. The biggest update here, the biggest change is that there's some weapon buffs, and I'm going to talk about all of that. But the first thing I'm going to talk about really quick is the smoke changes. Just because I can cover it super fast. So just bear with me here, we'll cover more interesting stuff. But if you have low, medium, or high graphics, or playing on custom with lower settings, you will have this smoke. If you change your graphics to be on ultra, or if you play on custom with good settings, you will have this smoke. So we got the worst looking smoke and the better looking smoke, and that's just a minor change with that. And then also, while we are in the settings menu, if you scroll all the way down in the gameplay menu, the default melee type is now slash, the kill streak feed is set to 30 max, and fade kill streak feed is on. And that's actually what I had mine on anyway, coincidentally enough. But, you know, that's just a change. So, you know, your knife animation might be different, and you might see the kill streak feed pop up. Boy, I'm recording a video. Just hold your horses. So, one change that is not coincidental is that the other day I made a video on the top 4 most underpowered guns. Man, that's a bad example of how to use the Dow 12. I made a video on the 4 most underpowered guns in SkillWarz, which were the M110, the Dow 12, the KSG 12, and the AK 12. Is that? Yeah. A lot of 12s in there. So, especially, the M110 is pretty usable on some maps, but especially the shotguns and the AK-12, no one really seemed to use. And you can look at like the damage stats and test things out, and see that they were really a bit worse than other weapons. So, yikes. Put this claymore down here. So I made some suggestions about how to possibly improve them. So one change that is on both of the shotguns is that when you aim down the sights, now your spread is tighter than it used to be. It used to spread out a little bit more, but not now. As you can see, that's a pretty tight spread there. So as long as you have good aim, you will have a pretty consistent target. So you see that guy is in the open, even though he's a bit farther away. The Dow 12 actually is a 5 pellet kill at long range, out of only 7 pellets, which means that I think the math is over 3/4 of that shot would have had to hit, but it did because the spread is nice and tight on these shotguns now. So if you have good aim, you will have fun using the shotguns. Speaking of shotguns, let me switch to the next one here. The Dow 12, the actual damage numbers were slightly increased, but only by a bit. The close range damage is less than a 10% increase, and the long range damage is only a 20% increase. But it still is a bit nice. The KSG is the more important buff here because it's... Boy, I'm getting sniped. You see a lot more people are using the KSG now. So, the KSG used to be really annoying to use. It was a hit marker machine. But one thing I noticed is that a lot of times when I would get a hit marker, the guy wouldn't have a whole lot of health. It wasn't like it was too... Like if it was a hit marker, then a kill. It wasn't like it was 2 full shots to kill. Because when I get a hit marker in like a trade or something, usually the guy would barely have any health. So the KSG has a 40% damage buff. And how it is that the damage numbers are actually unchanged. but there's 10 pellets now instead of 7, so it's over 40% more damage. And it'll also have a more consistent feel because you have more pellets going down range, so you rely less on randomness. Like, for example, if you're using the M107, which is a one-shot kill, you know, you'd think that'd be really good, but if you just hip-fire it, and you get kind of a really random result. How did that even stun me? Then you get a random result because you're only shooting one pellet. So, you know, one bullet. So, when you have more pellets, you'll have a more consistent result. Boy, you camping out. You shoot more pellets, you have a more consistent result, along with more damage. That's what the KSG-12 has now, and it is just way easier to use. The KSG-12 used to be so, like, annoying to use. I would use it all the time just to challenge myself, but it was just so painful. Now it's really good. And we're going to cover... Oh, one other thing is that as you can see here, there's been a slight animation change with the USP, where it doesn't kick up as much now. It used to be that the USP would kick really high and just obscure your target, but now it's easier to shoot people even at long range because of the fact that... There's a grenade. Because of the fact that it doesn't kick up very much. So that's a nice change there. As far as I know, the actual recoil on the USP is completely unchanged, but it's much easier to use now because of that animation change. So while we are on the screen here, I'm going to discuss that a bad word filter was added, and that will scan chat, it will scan the names of lobbies that people create, and also people's account names that are created. And it'll block and or put into a log any attempts to use bad words in game, whatnot. Obviously, if you are trying to get around it or whatever, then you can get muted and or temp banned. But that's always how it was. It's just we have a better way to detect it now, because it used to be people would have to report everything manually, which was just a huge pain. So now we have a nice filter to see when people make these just idiotic room names with, you know, racial slurs and all this dumb crap, all these account names and stuff. So that's a nice automated feature now. There are a few kinks. Someone, or actually me and a few other people, realized that LMAO for some reason is blocked in the chat. So I expect that that's going to get unblocked. Obviously, you know, when something's first implemented, there's always going to be a couple kinks to iron out. But overall, I think that'll be a pretty good change. And then the last thing I'm going to talk about here, the last thing to talk about, is that the AK-12 got a buff, but also a significant change. And this was actually my suggestion. So not only was it in my video about underpowered guns, but it was also... Man, I totally messed up that quad feed. Oh well. So... It was also in my video about underpowered guns, but I made a specific suggestion to not only buff the damage, but just to make it a 3-round burst rifle, because there's been a lot of people, and this is where I can't take full credit, there's been a lot of people that have suggested adding 3-round burst guns into the game. And it sounds like a really cool, you know, there's a lot of people that suggested it for a long time. You know, if I had better aim, I could have... Okay. My aim is bad. So, the AK-12, compared to what it used to be, it has a 25% damage buff at close range, which makes it a 2-shot kill instead of a 3-shot kill. And then at long range, it has almost a 50% damage buff, which makes it a 3-shot kill instead of a 4-shot kill. It used to basically do the same damage as the M4A1, but now it's much more like the AK-47. However, there's a significant difference, is that this gun has a longer range than the AK-47, and also, I think, every other assault rifle. For example, the 2-shot range, in other words, it does 50 damage at, quote, close range. The 2-shot range ends at the same time as, like, the K-10's 4-shot range. So you can kill people extremely quickly with this, just like the AK-47. But it also has longer range and lower recoil than the AK-47. And to be fair, this is an absolutely terrible map for trying out this gun. This is out of probably all the maps except, you know, map 26, map 16, something like that. This would probably be the worst one for trying to demonstrate this gun just because this map is so small. Where this gun is really good and where I've used it, even though I'm not playing on that map right now, is just on the longer range maps. It's not going to replace snipers anytime soon, but it is the best long range assault rifle, no question. And I think that the AK-12 is a really... this buff was really good. I guess I'm kind of tooting my own horn because it was my suggestion, but honestly, it has a really good feel most of the time. It is a little bit annoying to get 2 hit markers because it feels like you should have gotten a kill because you know it does 50 damage. But if someone has any more than 100 health, or if you don't hit twice to the torso, you're going to hit twice to the torso, or get a headshot and any other body shot will be a 2-shot kill to someone that has 100 health. But a lot of these noobs and stuff, or people that pick up extra health, then you have to get a 3-shot kill, which is not super fun, but it's not unbearable. It's still pretty good and I like using it. Now, and also in terms of stats on this gun, the fire rate is the same as before, as far as I'm aware. It feels a little bit faster, but I don't actually think it is. What is he doing? And the burst delay is actually, so the delay in between the last shot of a burst and the first shot of the next burst is only double the delay in between shots. So it bursts quite quickly, which is of course good. Those annoying burst weapons are the ones that you have to spam soup. Or the ones that you can't spam. I mean, so as you can see here, it's actually not particularly difficult. Do these guys even have enough grenades? It's not particularly difficult for me to shoot this fast, and I can demonstrate here. Anyway, so this is about the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the comments below. I will try to reply to anything worthwhile that has been said. No offense to people I haven't replied to, but it's you know what I mean. And with that being said, thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you later. See if I can get the final kill here. Yay!
Victory!
Alright. Thanks for watching. I'll see you later.